Now, there are fresh concerns. The world may be teetering on the brink of a full-blown trade war. This after the Trump administration announced it's imposing steel and aluminium tariffs on 3 of America's closest allies, the European Union, Canada and Mexico. The US tariffs will come into effect in around 6 hours from now. Lee Seung-jae reports.
A full-scale trade war could be on the horizon. The U.S. is imposing tariffs on aluminum and steel imports from the EU, Canada, and Mexico, a decision that's overshadowing a gathering of G7 finance ministers and central bankers. The decision ends months of uncertainty about possible exemptions and is sending a chill through financial markets around the world. U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says the 25% tariff on steel imports and 10% tariff on aluminum imports will be imposed on the EU, Canada, and Mexico starting at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Responding to the move, the EU said it would retaliate by targeting $3.3 billion worth of American imports like Harley-Davidson motorcycles, Levi's jeans, and bourbon, and will also start a case against the U.S. at the World Trade Organization. Canada said it would impose tariffs on as much as $12.8 billion of U.S. steel, aluminum, and other products starting July 1st. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau described the U.S. measures as punitive and unacceptable, adding that the tariffs will harm industry and workers on both sides of the Canada-U.S. border, disrupting linked supply chains that have made North American steel and aluminum more competitive around the world. The Mexican government also said the U.S. action was not justified. It has vowed retaliation, threatened to impose duties on everything from U.S. flat steel to cheese. Despite the retaliatory warnings, the U.S. Commerce Secretary says Washington is not concerned.
Well, even if the EU does retaliate, and even if some others do, it still will remain unlikely to be as much as 1% on our economy. Remember, just because they put tariffs on some of our products, it doesn't mean those sales will go to zero. And in the case of agriculture, they may very well find other markets that are just as good.
While the world may be closer to a full-scale trade war than at any time since the 1930s, observers say the Trump administration is using tariffs to squeeze better trade terms out of China and the EU, while putting pressure on Canada and Mexico to reform the North American Free Trade Agreement. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.